Welcome to your daily dose of theological German. We are on installment number 9 of this book here, The Kingdom of God and Christendom. So we've been looking here at a thing about Ezekiel's vision and how his vision anticipates a remnant of Israel who are all the good people, basically. None of the bad people and all the good people. That's the context of this part of the book that we're in. So let's go ahead and translate this sentence. So here it says, he saw God, or he sees, I guess you should say. It's present. He sees God in his vision, in other words, as he, now this is picking up God, although it's not immediately obvious, but you'll kind of see from the context, as he, in the streets of the city. Okay, so now we're going, hold on a minute, we need a verb. Ah, yes, it's at the end of the clause, because this is a subordinate clause now, right? The main clause is, he saw God. Everything after this point, your verbs are going to start showing up at the end, okay? So he saw God as he what? As he gave the order to a heavenly being, and here you're going to get that to because you've got a dative object with this verb, and so in English we use the preposition to a heavenly being in the streets of the city. Okay, so he gave an order to the heavenly being in the streets of the city. What was the order? To wander through them. Here you've got a plural object, and so that's picking up this here, streets, to wander through them, the streets, wander through the streets. And to make, okay, so your zu construction is down here at the end of the clause, to make a mark on the foreheads of who? Of the men. Which men? The men who indeed sigh and moan and lament over all the horrors which are committed or perpetrated in the city. Okay, so that was actually a pretty straightforward translation, and I don't have too much to say about it. It's convoluted because it's a very long sentence and it has a quote from Ezekiel embedded within it. But some stuff just to make sure you're picking up is these two zu constructions are both complementing this here verb erteilen, to issue the order. And so when orders are issued, their contents of those orders are themselves usually verbs. And so that's why you have zu constructions, and those verbs then can also take objects and other prepositional phrases, etc., etc. And so that's why you ended up with this kind of convoluted thing, because now you have this verb down here to make, and so it's going to make a mark, but it's going to make it on the foreheads, and then now you're describing the foreheads, and so you're using a quote from Ezekiel to say the foreheads of the men who, sigh and moan over all the horrors. And then you have all these relative clauses in here, right? The men who sigh and moan over all the horrors, and then you have a relative clause for horrors, picking that up, right? Which are committed. And so you just have to see all those moving parts, realize where the clause divisions are, and I think you can basically figure it out. It's not, I wouldn't call this a super complicated sentence in German, but it's just long, and so it kind of, when you're translating it, you have to reorganize things a fair bit. As always, I hope you found that helpful, and please do like and subscribe and all those good things, and we will see you next time.